Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade Operative here, and I'd like to welcome you to my first impressions of the For Honor Open Beta. I've played this Ubisoft title extensively from the closed beta till now. While I missed out on the closed alpha, and this video will probably release near the launch of the game, I still feel as though the positives and negatives still are relevant to air out to the public, and that the accumulated mechanics that the game still gives off needs to be addressed. More importantly, it's up to you as a consumer to decide if this is worth your hard-earned money. For Honor is a third-person action fighting game developed by Ubisoft Montreal. The whole idea of the game is to create a diverse multiplayer experience that focuses more on the gigantic arena-style brawls that pit samurai, knights, and Vikings against one another in an online environment. I was massively skeptical when I first saw the game revealed because I thought there would be no way that Ubisoft could make an online multiplayer that revolved around this concept remotely fun to play given their history. The always online concept for For Honor also bothered me because Ubisoft really needed to justify that $60 price tag when it came to always online multiplayer. So the first thing I was thinking in my mind is, what is the value of For Honor if you're charging an online only multiplayer experience for $60? For the graphics and performance, it's a mixed bag on the latter. While the game doesn't glitch out erratically as Ghost Recon Wildlands or Assassin's Creed Unity for example, the frame rate does leave a little too much to be desired. If you're going to have some firm arena style combat fighter that involves input, defense, and proper positioning, then 60 FPS should be the obvious standard there. For Honor just feels a little bit too clumsy to handle as we slog through a hot batch of 30 FPS motions for a fighter, and while the 30 FPS feels stabilized, it just comes off as imprecise in my eyes for a game that involves this caliber of fighting. The graphics are okay for this generation, nothing jaw-dropping, nothing that will make you knock your socks off, that appears to be extensive in details like Uncharted 4. What you see is what you get, which just suffices enough to not bother your trained eye too much because For Honor just barely crosses the threshold into decency graphically. The gameplay is a love it or hate it affair depending on the circumstances you're thrown into. Let's focus on the positives and details of the game first before jumping into my concerns. The most important thing to note is learning what works and what doesn't. A lot of players in For Honor will choose to play a certain way, offensively or defensively. Knowing is half the battle, as they say, so learning a character within the game that is best suited to how you play is very important for the flow of the combat that's preferred. Maybe you like counterattacking, then Orochi and Nobushi might be the choice for your needs, considering that Nobushi can inflict bleeding, for example, on other players. There is some interesting concepts in For Honor. There are certain characters that might be harder or easier to play than others. There are certain effects applied to weapons that should be taken into advisement. There are certain unblockable combos and flame-induced moves that might put the opposition on edge. There's just so many small little details that Ubisoft did focus on to create distinctive playstyles, since the game is relatively easy to pick up and play after you finish the tutorial. The fighting is also relatively straightforward. You guard with whatever direction you flick the right analog stick into to match up where the enemy is about to attack you so you can block. Squares for guard breaking in whatever direction the enemy blocks. R1 and R2 can offer up a wide range of decent combos for people who don't have fast reaction times to deal with them. For Honor also doesn't have a steep learning curve because of how it plays, which means that anyone can join the fray on the chaos. Sadly, the positives in there's just a host of issues I ran into while playing this game that probably might translate to the final build. It just seemed like there was a lot of inconsistencies and there was desires to be had while playing it. Enemies just had stamina bars out the ass, somehow remaining constant through button mashing. Revenge mode could be turned off in custom games, but for some reason the ability to join lobbies without all these buffs are absent when it comes to the matchmaking. There's some times where I fight someone and I swear I broke their guard, but they just powered through it. Even though I was set on the stance of blocking them, they powered through it with an attack. And the biggest slap in the face in my opinion are the insta-kills. I hate when I'm on a ladder and someone can cock block me by sliding down while I'm on a ladder and insta-kill me. It's complete and utter crap. I just don't like all the cheap mechanics in this game. And if you play Dominion, which is 4v4 capture the point, some people can sit on the ladder and you can't kill them while they're on the ladder, but they can cock block you from the point. You see what I'm saying? I don't like cheapness that is coming out of this game, and that is the biggest problem. I think that there's just so many things to think about when it comes to how broken some of the mechanics are. And there's even more. There's like the revenge mode isn't even applied too well when it comes to stuff where you're fighting more than one enemy. You just die automatically, so this comeback mechanic doesn't even work out well to how it's applied to the core design of the game. It just feels like this game is severely imbalanced in some way. Some form, this game is imbalanced the more you play, which is a bad thing entirely. For my concluding point, the controls were simple yet effective to pick up and play, albeit a little clunky at times. For the music and sound effects, well, there's not much music that really stood out to me. The sound effects are just your average war cries, swords clashing, and flesh being ripped into, so I guess it sounds authentic when you're in battle. There's a wide range of factions and characters to choose from. You can also like dismantle and find parts on the battlefield, and also your weapons have certain stats to take into account. So there is some replay value in regards to For Honor when it comes to the discovery of different items. In the end, For Honor felt like a bargain bin title, a bargain bin pile of fun that you could find for about 20 bucks. Be content with your purchase, play it for like a few times and never pick it up again. There's a myriad of problems that seriously get more evident the more you play the game and start to take it seriously after a while. There's a range of modes to play from, like 1v1, 2v2, and 4v4, so they do have that philosophy in mind of having different modes you can play with your friends or 1v1 against the world. But when you pile on the players of For Honor to 4v4, it just gets too erratic for its own good. When it comes to this game and how Ubisoft is marketing this at $60, it definitely feels suspect considering how it's one of those titles that doesn't feel like it justifies the cost. Overall, For Honor to me is a mixed bag of fun and problems as an entire package, and for that I gotta give For Honor the open beta a C-. I don't know how this game is really 60 bucks. I mean, it just doesn't feel like it in the end. It feels like if this was 20 bucks or maybe even 40, this would be a lot more of a justified retail price for For Honor, but I don't think it amounts to that much. I don't think it should be full retail in my opinion, but hopefully you like, subscribe, and maybe give your thoughts on For Honor in the comments below. I'm going back to that Neo life, fam. I'm going back to that Neo life. Once again, take care. See you later.